You don't have to work in politics to know that there are certain things you just don't say out loud. I don't know, praising Hitler, por ejemplo. But don't tell that to America's own tiny-fingered Mussolini. The Guardian reports that according to a new book by Michael Bender, Donald Trump told his chief of staff, John Kelly, in 2018 that Hitler did a lot of good things. According to the book, the remark stunned Kelly. But while Kelly reportedly told the president that he was wrong, Trump was reportedly undeterred. Trump's reported defense of Hitler would be surprising if it wasn't Trump, whose ex-wife Ivana reportedly told her lawyer that he kept a copy of Hitler's speeches in a bedroom drawer for pleasure reading. But it also fits a pattern that we've seen from Republicans lately of basically screaming the quiet parts out loud. For instance, in a video released just today, Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona described Democrats the way Trump used to describe the media, as enemies of the state.
We hear an awful lot about the Democrat Party moving to the left, practicing socialism, Marxism, Leninism, communism, whatever. You're in the House. What do the Democrat House members actually believe?
My own opinion is that they are enemies of the state.
The state of what? State of Trump? The congressman's office has not responded to requests for comment, unsurprisingly. That video was captured by Lauren Windsor, the executive producer of The Undercurrent, who's gained some notoriety for her undercover work exposing Republicans and what they actually believe. Another of her videos captures Congressman Chip Roy of Texas, seeming to admit that the goal of the Republican Party right now is to obstruct all legislation and create an atmosphere of chaos ahead of the midterm elections.
Honestly, right now, for the next 18 months, our job is to do everything we can to slow all of that down to get to December 2022. I actually say, thank you, Lord, 18 more months of chaos and the inability to get stuff done. That's what we want.
Well, we've reached out to Roy's office to confirm that it's his voice in that video, but, we've not heard back. However, Roy did respond to the video on Twitter and notably didn't deny it was him. In fact, he embraced it, calling himself an exceptional obstructionist. And with me now is Lauren Windsor, executive producer of The Undercurrent and Project Veritas Exposed, and Charlie Sykes, editor-at-large at The Bulwark and an MSNBC columnist. And I'll start with you, Lauren. Congratulations on all of this great video. Let's talk about that. When you're in these settings, how are you? Are you surprised at how open people like Andy Biggs and Chip Roy are at just saying their strategy?
And frankly, no. I've been doing this for a while, and in these settings, I feel pretty comfortable just openly saying it.
And let's go.
The average person.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go through them one by one. So Andy Biggs, the enemies of the state thing. I mean, this is a guy who essentially is an insurrectionist, right? So what did he get into more detail about who does he see as the state? Because at the moment, the state, if you want to call it that, is controlled by Democrats.
Well, he actually went on in that clip. He went on in that clip to name 3 House members that he considered to be radical leftists, and they included Jerry Nadler, Carolyn Maloney, and Maxine Waters. And so I just, I think the average person doesn't really see Jerry Nadler or Carolyn Maloney as a radical leftist. But I know that Maxine Waters is a favorite boogeyman for the right. So that one was a little bit more, I think, expected, but definitely not for Jerry Nadler.
Yeah, Charlie, I think we need a new name. The squad is already taken, but Nadler, Maloney, and Maxine Waters, Squad 2.0, maybe? I mean, when you hear this.
The triad.
The triad. So that's it. That's what it's going to be. The triad. Nadler, fearsome fellow, man. I know he frightens me. What do you make of this? The openness of just admitting these people he sees, Jerry Nadler, enemy of the state. Interesting that he picks women and Jewish people and black people as the enemies of the state. I'm not going to say that's not a coincidence. And then Chip Roy essentially admitting, look, all we want is chaos. That's how we win. Pure chaos.
I have to say that I find these comments completely unsurprising. Chip Roy is articulating what all of us have known has been the Republican position, that they no longer are actually interested in governing or passing anything. In fact, The whole, owning the libs, trolling style of politics is about chaos. It's about obstructionism. And quite frankly, Republicans are completely comfortable with all of this. And, this plays well with the base. We may sit here and think it's a gaffe, like, oh, my gosh, look what they're saying in private. And they're looking at each other and going, yeah, this is what we say. This is what we were going to run on because this is who we are. They have become completely reactionary here. And it is rather extraordinary that Chip Roy in particular, if I'm correct about this, was talking about obstructing infrastructure bill, which like 5 minutes ago would have been a bipartisan thing. If he'd been on the condo board, he would have been the guy saying, no, we don't need to spend any money to fix anything here. Let's simply argue about it and then claim that somehow that was being conservative. And that may seem tasteless, but the reality is that there are real consequences to the refusal to do things that are necessary or even attempt to. And I think that's what he's saying, is that we're not even going to attempt to. We're not going to look for a better bill. We're not going to propose an alternative. We just want to block everything and be obstructionist. And he's completely comfortable with that.
Well, they're getting that also from their leader, Lauren. Let me talk a little bit about that. So Chip Roy, in this conversation, because, you do have the head of the United States, Republicans in the United States Senate, Mitch McConnell, saying the same thing. Hey, congratulations, Kentucky, on getting this money. You ain't getting none from me. And they're essentially telegraphing to their audiences, look, we're going to give you nothing. No bridges, no roads, no potholes filled. We're giving you nothing, but we also think that y'all are so racist that you're going to guard your precious white children from getting any knowledge about history because then that will destroy them. We think that knowledge will destroy them. They'll turn them woke. They don't get to learn anything. They will be ignorant and have no bridges. Were they being open about that? Did he elaborate on why they get no infrastructure and why they should be happy about that?
So in terms of fighting the infrastructure bill, he was very clear that he wants to obstruct anything. And, that really toes the line with Mitch McConnell is, for the next 18 months, we're going to slow walk this entire process until the 2022 midterm elections. And then, if they can retake the Senate or retake the House, then we'll have another 2 years of obstructing everything as well because,
doing nothing.
Biden won't get anything done in the second half. So is that really what the American people want? Is 4 years of just total gridlock? Is insane.
And race entertainment, because that is what they are giving. Let me play another of your clips. This is Congressman Youngkin, and he's talking, I guess, about something very similar, and let's listen to that. This is Glenn Youngkin. He is actually a candidate for Virginia governor.
Can we keep on time? Do we take to the abortionist stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to be really honest with you. The short answer is, in this campaign, I can't. When I'm governor and I have a majority in the House, we can start going on offense. But as a campaign topic, sadly, that in fact won't win my independent votes that I have to get.
For those who didn't hear, he said that he's going to take a hard line on abortion, but he can't say it out loud because he has to get independent votes. Lauren, that sounds to me like he's essentially saying, I got to lie in order to get independence.
Yes, I mean, he was very clear about I cannot win this campaign by being upfront about my views on abortion. In other footage that wasn't in that segment, pressed him on, would you get us a fetal heartbeat bill? Would you defund Planned Parenthood? And, he was like, you're on the right track. Those are all great things, but I can't say that in public because I'll never win the independent voters that I need to win this race. But when I am in the governor's mansion and I have a House majority, then we can go on the offense.
Yeah.
He said all these things.
People should know if you're a voter in Virginia, that is his plan if he gets in office, is to ban abortion. His spokesperson said that the audio demonstrated that Glenn Youngkin says the same things no matter who he's talking to. We're running out of time, but we also have Congressman Mike Johnson. You guys can watch this on Twitter, essentially saying that he went to high school with Amy Coney Barrett and he knows that she will overturn abortion. Before we go, we are out of time, but Charlie Sykes, shocked or not shocked that Donald Trump praised Hitler? Make that really short, but shocked or not shocked?
No, not shocked at all. But again, disillusioned that the General Kelly did not share this with the voters before the election because he saw this up close and personal. And as a patriot, he should have spoken out about that, knowing what he knew.
I am not surprised that Kelly did, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not surprised that he said nothing. Not surprised. Sorry, lack of character showed before that. Larry Windsor, Charlie Sykes, thank you both very much. Still ahead, the perpetual